Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ramadhan Aqshal Yogatama with NPM number 2021 125 00080. In this video, I will try to discuss the importance of skills in teaching language, especially in writing skills for senior high school. The importance of skills in teaching language, especially in writing skills, is something important because it is observable evidence in language mastery. The more a senior high school student is able to produce a good writing, the more proven the quality of a good language teaching system. Teaching writing skills, especially to high school students, is an obligation because this can help them to pursue the next level after high school. For example, writing job application or for educational problems. Writing is more complex than speaking in that it tends to involve a wider variety of grammatical construction and more extensive vocabulary. Whereas in speaking, you might say, I got your email yesterday, but in writing, this could be, well, as I received your email on Thursday 26th. Speaking is mostly done face to face and uses a body language gesture, stress, intonation, and the like to show a subtle meaning. To display this nuance in writing, we have to employ a greater vocabulary and deeper grammatical construction, and thus, it is very important to teach these skills. So, as a teacher, we can teach this writing skill to our student. The next thing to think about is how you want your student to write. In the real world, writing is mostly an individual task. Thus, there is a case for having it done solely as a homework. Having said this, if your students are taking an exam, they should have a practice writing under exam condition, that is carefully timed in a room with other students. Likewise, if you are teaching note taking perhaps to an EAP class, then this has to be done in the class in a lecture like situation. Remember too, if you get your students to write for homework, then there is no problem allowing them to complete the tasks on a computer. Although some teacher might poke at the use of spelling and grammar checker, there are a good arguments in favor of them helping students learn English. And then, what are the tips for teacher in improving writing skills? Number 1, don't underestimate the value of conducting needs assessment. When it comes down to how to teach writing skills, even if you are teaching a group that is considered a certain proficiency level, recognize that there is always going to be a range of experience and ability present. Spend time getting to know what your students have been exposed to and in what ways before deciding on your approach. Teach to the middle to ensure no one is left behind. Number 2, think about how you can lower learners' affective filter. A large portion of all successful teaching comes from relationship building. In addition to getting a true sense of your learners' experience and abilities, try to understand their attitudes towards writing as a process and any challenge that might be born from those attitudes. How can you increase your student comfort level, or how can you engage the individual sitting in front of you? Number 3, the present opportunity to examine authentic written language. Providing students with the example of the target language is non-negotiable, but challenge yourself to move beyond the example text in your curriculum where possible. Students might feel bored by selected words in their textbooks. They need to recognize that written language is all around them. Pull from authentic texts that cover an array of topics that you know matter to your student to keep them engaged. Number 4, lead with function over from in instruction and then alter your focus. Students can be discouraged to find their paper covered with red ink, highlighted their fallacies. While it is important to provide corrective feedback, consider the purposes of the assignment before making up the composition. Was the output comprehensible? Did it touch upon everything that you asked for, focusing on path function? Choose your objective carefully, make them know to the learner and provide corrective feedback accordingly. And the last one, consider formative assessment and reflective strategies. Whenever possible, assess student work periodically, examining the process with various checkpoints and iteration throughout. Instead of just evaluating the final product, writing in the interactive process and students benefit greatly when offer opportunity to reflect on their process. Create an opportunity for students to participate in self and peer revision processes, which in turn will result in more conscientious and focused writers.